Right, my name's Tam Baillie. I'm former Children and Young People's Commissioner for Scotland, and I feel very privileged to stand here to be part of the AGM. And it's my job really to sort of say a few words of introduction. So look at the turnout. This is brilliant, you know, on a sunny afternoon where you could be spending time enjoying the sun or spending time with your family, or maybe, I suppose, watching Panama beat England. Just maybe. And you're going to hear where we're at. This is a time kind of to take stock of where Upstart is at, and to really get people to think about, reflect on where we're at as an organisation and a movement. But to kick us off, I'm going to tell you a couple of stories, actually. And one of the stories goes right back to one of my first jobs. I was working in View Park, and I was speaking to a minister, and I was giving it what for with the minister, and he could obviously sense that I was a kind of headstrong young man at the time. And he said, "Tam," he said, "so if there's a piece of advice I want to give you, it's this." He said, "Whenever you're absolutely sure, cocksure that you are right," he said, "that's the time to stop and think again." And I was so headstrong, I didn't really get that what he was really saying to me was, "I don't think you're right here." But I do now, and it stuck with me, that advice about stopping and thinking things through again. And so I've carried that around with me a little bit, which relates to the other instance which I was thinking about in coming here today. So right at the start of being Commissioner, I was at a conference, as I was delivering at the conference on education, mental health, children and young people, and I had a question from the floor. And the question was, around about that time, they had tests, standardised tests across the curriculum in England, and I was asked the question, what do I think of testing for children? And I gave a kind of nuanced response, which was, of course, we need to know where children are at, and of course, tests are part of the assessment. But when you've got standardised tests, the tendency is for people to look at those on a national basis, and for those to then generate league tables. But actually, I don't think that satisfied the questioner, because I think what they were really getting at was about the impact that has in the teaching environment. And I sidestepped that. Whereas nowadays, in my reflection, I think I would give a much better informed response to that, about the teaching to the test and the impact that it has in the learning environment of children, to have that kind of framework for children to actually be part of. And having said all of that, the thing that really gets me going right now in terms of Upstart is that I get to call myself an upstart. I'm legitimately an upstart. And hopefully so are you. So this is the call. If you haven't signed up as a member, then you'll get to call yourself an upstart if you sign the paperwork today, because we are a membership organisation and membership counts. And that's the really exciting thing about Upstart. It's a membership organisation of people who are living and breathing the world of children that we are trying to change. The world that we are trying to get people to reflect on the status quo, on the acceptance of where we're at with the education of our children and the place of play within it. And the people that we need to be on board are way beyond this room here, are way beyond the membership. But I think we're part of a movement. I think we're part of a movement where I truly believe that we've got it right. And I say that because in pressing for kindergarten and in being critical of P1 tests, when you're in a room of this size or across the country in the audiences that people have addressed, there's a nodding head response. People get it. people understand the message. So I don't see this as being an organisation that's realised anything like, or a movement that's realised anything like its potential. And I really believe that we're on a path which will change how we educate and create learning spaces for children, which are truly play-based, particularly for those younger children. So that really inspires me, and that's why I feel very privileged to be here. And I'm saying that having gone through my minister's advice on reflecting, my minister's advice of think again. So I think we've already done that. And now is the time for us to try and build on where we're at. So this is the time for reflection. I don't think that anybody in this audience needs convinced. What we need to do is to think about how we get to the other parts. And there are many, many, thousands of people actually, who are now on message. And just a final thing, it's sometimes hard for people who are in public positions to be able to say, I got it wrong. To be able to say, I've thought about this and I'm changing course. And part of our job is to try and create the space for them to have the confidence to be able to say, we are thinking again. Especially our politicians who lead. Now, you've got Donald Trumps of this world who changes his mind every 5 minutes. So that's got no credibility. Or our Prime Minister who gets used as a political football. What we need are serious politicians to really think through where they are at. And I think the grassroots movement, which we are building up right now, is part of that shift in psyche about how we educate our children.